It's Good News Tuesday. Shane Hewitt and the Night Shift. Good news. Our buddy Chris Abel is here. Actually, Chris is bringing some good deals, I think.
Yeah.
It's possible as part of our conversation here. And a little bit of St. Patty's Day boozy bartending. We'll get to that in a second. If you want to get connected with Chris Abel, it is Real Chris Abel, Krisabel, on the socials and .com if you want to get to the website. Chris, headphones, big expensive headphones. What do you got?
Apple has launched a set of headphones that have caught a bit of a tizzy online. A lot of people really excited about the Apple AirPods Max 2. So what's special about these other than they're $800 is that they have a new computer chip placed into them, not for artificial intelligence, but for advanced algorithms. And so Apple says that the benefit is you get a pair of headphones that have an all-day battery, and they have the better noise cancellation, active noise cancellation, as well as things like transparency, where it can filter out sounds, but make sure that you still hear the important things like fire alarms and things like that. A couple of interesting features that they've added that were kind of surprising to me. One is that you can now speak to Siri without actually having to say anything. And so if you have Siri suddenly come in on your headphones and tell you something, you can simply nod or shake your head no to give her a response. And that way nobody else has to hear you speaking to your personal assistant for anything like that. They've also added remote control for cameras. So you can use your headphones if you want to remotely trigger your iPhone to record a video or take a photograph of yourself. That's an odd feature they threw in there, but it's kind of neat. And then this is kind of low key. It's not something Apple is sort of pushing, is they say the audio recording ability of these headphones, which were added initially so you could take phone calls and stuff like that, they're actually quietly saying is good enough that you can do podcasting with it. They're not really pushing that. They're hoping, I guess, people will discover that, and then maybe that's going to be a thing for podcasters. I'm curious. We'll see how that goes.
Do we need that in headphones, do you think, Chris?
I'm not sure. This is a case where you can imagine Apple and engineers sitting here and going, okay, what can we add? Like, we need to have some new features. What can we try? You know, and they sort of throw it in and see, well, let's see if people do anything with it. And obviously, if that becomes a big deal, then it'll be in the Apple AirPods Max Pro 3. Otherwise, it just won't appear in the next models.
I don't know if I like the idea of Siri just popping in, although I do like the idea of the nodding and that stuff. I mean, that's kind of cool. I mean, to the gyro thing, it makes me wonder about fancy headphones. And you review tech. This is your thing. And I like Bang & Olufsen. And like Bang & Olufsen has been a very expensive, not cheap. And a lot of people have sort of knocked it for some of the parts that are inside, but you get style and they've always been at this price point. And it makes me wonder what this kind of headphone is pushing those higher end ones. Do they just go more expensive, or are they going to have to start adding features generally?
It's interesting. They seem to be feeling like the over-the-ear headphones, you can get away with a higher price. That most people, when they're looking for cheap earphones, they're looking for earbuds. Mm-hmm. And so I think that the headphone industries realized, oh, no. You know, people, when they're going to go buy headphones, they're willing to spend money on them.
Yeah. Well, I know that with the B&O stuff, I mean, you get like a milled aluminum, you get a real leather, like you do get a different kind of headphone experience. Mm-hmm. It's interesting. Be interesting to see where this goes. Okay. I always say that there's going to be some sort of weird robot here, and licking is a thing. Chris?
Yes. This is a robot in Japan called Licker. And so it is a robot tongue. And if you were to look at it, you'd realize that it's a very convincing human tongue. It looks like it's literally been chopped and removed from a cadaver.
Ew.
And so the Japanese researchers have gone to great lengths to make sure that this is a very, very prehensile tongue, not just in terms of it moving back and forth and up and down and undulating, but the tip of the tongue has the ability to really be manipulated and move about. What I find interesting, they made sure that it can excrete and always be sticky with saliva, that this is a tongue that it is for licking. The reason they say is that this is about social issues, that if you have robots in our society, they need to be able to connect with human beings, and licking is something that in nature is very important. Now that's true amongst animals. You think of your pets, your dogs, your cats, they are going to lick you, and that's something we've come to expect. So I certainly understand that coming up with a realistic tongue that you can add to a robot dog, and we're starting to see more and more robot dogs, I think that could be useful. The problem I have is that this particular robot tongue is a human tongue. I'm not sure I want to see a robot dog with a human tongue. That might be really weird. And then the other aspect is that their first usage of this is going to be applying it to robot humanoids. And I know that there are also other companies that are working on creating lips. And so this may just be about finally having a humanoid robot that when they speak, it's not just a flashing light just over their jaw, that you may have a humanoid housemaid or a butler that actually has lips, that when they speak, you can see their teeth, and of course that you can see their tongue.
Okay, moving on. Next on, go ahead. You can say something if you need to. I find that one weird.
That's basically it.
That's it. Okay, good. We're going to move forward. It is St. Paddy's Day, and while when the show is done, I will enjoy a Guinness. Chris is not a drinker. Why, Chris?
I'm not a drinker because of a genetic condition that I have that some people listening to us probably do share. And I've mentioned this in the past on another report. There's a robot that can scan your tongue and tell you about different foods that would be suitable for you. And I thought, oh wait, I've got that kind of condition. So in the 1990s, Yale University did a study, and they found that just under a quarter of the population are people who have more taste buds on your tongue and larger taste buds than everybody else. And they dubbed these people as supertasters. The result is that if you are a supertaster, you're very sensitive to bitter foods. Basically, anything that's bitter is cranked up to 11. And this includes things like onions, includes alcohols, some alcohols, but it also includes coffee. And so for somebody like myself, I cannot stand coffee. Oh. It tastes really disgusting for me. For me, coffee is the equivalent of body odor made liquid. If you can imagine somebody handing you a cup of body odor after somebody's been working out and it's all human sweat, that's kind of what coffee is like for me.
Just to be clear, I did not want to imagine that, just to be clear.
Okay, well, this will make up for it. So right now, the #1 streaming movie on Netflix is War Machine, starring Alan Ritchson. And Alan Ritchson is also a supertaster. And so I've got a fun clip for you to listen where he talks about his experience of dealing with things like coffee. Have a listen.
I don't like coffee. I'll drink it. I have had some. I don't like it. I had a genetic test done. I'm a supertaster. Supertasters experience bitters way more than everybody else. That coffee tastes like pee. Did you want to lick the ground in the morning? That's what it tastes like to me.
If you ask Ted Lasso, he says that tea tastes like mud water. So
he might be a supertaster. So there's a home test you can do using food coloring. You stain your tongue, and then you take a photograph and you count the number of taste buds that you have. If it's more than 15, then you enter into the supertaster category. If you're like me, you got way more than 30, then you're going to have extreme responses to things like coffee. Alcohol for me tastes like Windex or Lysol. So I have a hard time having that social habit of having a drink with people.
Similar to how cilantro people have that enzyme that makes it taste like soap, I guess.
I have that too.
Oh.
So
you're a lot of fun,
really
No salsa, no beers for you. Oh man, this is great stuff. All right, if you want to get connected to Chris and his super robotic supertaster tongue, you can. Real Chris Abel on the socials. Check out his YouTube channel. He says there's a lot of good videos on there too. RealKrisabel.com on the socials. As always, thanks for bringing the weird robots and the rest of the tech too. Thanks, Chris.
All right, take care.